You are watching Lo-Fi News. It is day 4 of the year 2021. Radiation levels at Fukushima are far worse than previously reported, states Breitbart News. Nuclear regulators in Japan recently revealed the radiation levels found inside the damaged reactor building at the number 1 reactor are exceedingly high. Radiation levels were estimated at 10 sieverts per hour, a lethal dose for anyone who spends even an hour in the vicinity, according to reports. The Barrett's Observer is reporting that Norway, fearing the mutant COVID-19 strain, has the government deciding that anyone who arrives in Norway must take a COVID-19 test. The new rules are enforced starting today with testing facilities coupled with police control. Several smaller border crossings with Sweden and Finland will be closed. The police and municipal health authorities simply do not have the capacity to enforce a 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week testing and control protocol. At all crossroads and border roads, Norway's military home guard will assist the police with the new border controls. Shocking video has emerged from Egypt showing chaos inside 2 hospitals as oxygen supplies allegedly run out, sending people into panic and rushing multiple patients to an early death. Israel is on high alert on the anniversary of Soleimani's assassination. Yesterday, Defense Secretary Christopher Miller stated that due to recent threats issued by Iranian leaders against President Trump and other U.S. government officials, he has ordered the USS Nimitz to halt its routine redeployment. The USS Nimitz will now remain on station in the U.S. Central Command area of operations. Intense activity of U.S. Air Force can be seen over the skies of Iraq, specifically along the Iranian border today. Yesterday's Iranian-timed announcement that it will begin enriching uranium up to 20% at its underground nuclear facility falls in line with their subterfuge playing out in the last days of the Trump administration. A South Korean-flagged chemical tanker bound for the UAE ventured into Iranian territorial waters. Security firms fear it has been seized, and that now has been confirmed by Iran's Revolutionary Navy, accusing the vessel of polluting the Persian Gulf with chemicals. ABC News in Australia reports that the Australian Security Intelligence Organization has assessed Melbourne-based Chinese businessman Ha Ha Lu as a national security risk. Ha Ha Lu is a Liberal Party donor and former soldier in the Chinese People's Liberation Army, and he developed links with federal Liberal MP Gladys Liu, of no relation, and Assistant Treasurer Michael Shakur. Gladys Liu and Treasurer Michael Shakur gave Ha Ha access to the corridors of power in federal parliament at events with cabinet ministers and government MPs. Mr. Liu is contesting the deportation order after the federal government rejected his application for permanent residency when security concerns were raised. The Center for Strategic and International Studies has an overview of China's land-based conventional missile forces, covering China's conventional missile arsenal, which is largely unique in the world. The United States and Russia do not possess significant land-based conventional missile forces. This is because the International Range Nuclear Forces Treaty prohibited the 2 Cold War superpowers from developing or deploying land-based missiles with ranges of 500 to 5,500 kilometers from 1987 until the U.S. withdrawal in 2019. If Beijing had been a signatory to the INF Treaty, roughly 95% of China's missiles would be non-compliant. India has made progress in developing increasingly capable missile forces to deter attacks from Pakistan and China, but its arsenal is smaller than China's and generally consists of shorter-range weapons. As with all missile defense systems, their effectiveness is being eroded by the advancements in hypersonic missile technology. Hypersonic weapons, which include hypersonic glide vehicles and hypersonic cruise missiles, are able to travel above 5 times the speed of sound. China, Russia, India, and the United States are the 3 major players in the technology of hypersonic missiles and defense. Yesterday in London, police and anti-lockdown protesters clashed in Hyde Park. Judge Vanessa Barlista, who ruled to not extradite WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange to the United States to face criminal charges of espionage. Japan considers new emergency protocols as COVID-19 cases continue to surge. RAND has a report titled "The Compensation System for Potential Side Effects is an important part of the COVID-19 vaccine campaign," stating, and I quote, "In the campaign that will soon unfold, Americans may be asked to volunteer their immune systems, not simply for their own health, but also for the welfare of the larger community, despite the possibility that some recipients will experience side effects. This report can be found at rand.org. Virginia State Senator dies from COVID-19. Senator Ben Chaffin has died from complications due to the COVID-19 in his office announced Friday. Pennsylvania Representative Mike Reese, who last month announced he had tested positive for COVID-19, has died today of an apparent brain aneurysm. He was only 42. The BBC reports that doorbell ring cameras are being hacked and live streaming police raids in swatting attacks. It marks the latest escalation of a crime known as swatting, in which offenders fool police and other emergency responders to go to a target's residence. A fake call about a hostage situation led to a police shooting a man in Kansas 3 years ago, and there have been other non-fatal injuries in other cases. The FBI believes the victim's reuse of passwords from online devices, which are readily sold on the dark web, can be to blame. As a side note, make sure you change your passwords and leave them in a safe place. Yahoo News is reporting that U.S. officials are privately worried Russia stole blueprints for blackout restoration. There are concerns the SVR, which U.S. intelligence agencies and Secretary of State Mike Pompeo are confident were behind the SolarWinds breach, were able to access the technical blueprints from the Energy Department on how the U.S. would restore power if there was a major blackout. If that is the case, Russia would theoretically have a list of systems that it could target to keep power from ever returning on. New York Assembly Bill A416 proposes to detain disease carriers the governor deems dangerous to public health. Section 2120A states a removal and detention of cases, contacts, and carriers who are or may be a danger to public health. The bill can be viewed at www.nysenate.gov/legislation/bills/2021/A416. The internet trolls who defend such actions by the state are stating that this is the same as federal regulations. It is not. Under 42 Code of Federal Regulations, Parts 70 and 71, only the CDC is authorized to detain, medically examine, and release persons arriving in the United States or traveling between states who are suspect of carrying communicable diseases. If you enjoyed today's Lo-Fi news, hit the comment, like, and subscribe button. Godspeed and keep watch.